Level 1, the initiation. You're 15 years old. You arrived in Los Angeles 8 months ago from San Salvador, fleeing a rival gang that killed your older brother. You don't know anyone. You slept 3 weeks under a bridge in Pico Union. A guy with his face completely tattooed sees you stealing food from a 7-Eleven. He asks you where you're from. You tell him the truth. He smiles, showing gold teeth. He offers you protection, family, respect. All you want is to belong to something. It doesn't matter what. They explain the rules. To get in, you need to pass the check-in. 13 seconds of beating. The homeboys form a circle. You in the center without defending yourself. Just endure. 13 seconds that feel like 13 eternal minutes. They break 2 ribs. Your nose bleeds so much you think you're drowning. A tooth gets loose. You fall 3 times, you get up twice. The 3rd time, you stay on the ground spitting blood on dirty concrete. When it's over, they hug you. They call you brother. Now you're one of them. Now you're MS-13 forever. There's no probation period. There's no voluntary resignation. Subscribe before you end up taking 13 seconds. That will change your entire life. They take you to an apartment where 6 homeboys live in a space for 2 people. Mattresses on the floor, clothes piled in corners. The smell of marijuana and stale beer never goes away. They give you your first mission that same night. Simple. Mark territory. They hand you 3 cans of black spray paint. They take you to a wall in neutral territory. You write MS-13 in big letters. You draw the number 13, the devil's hand with 3 fingers. 2 homeboys watch while you work. You finish in 10 minutes. You return sweating pure adrenaline. You just signed your name on a permanent declaration of war. Level 2, the soldier. You're 17 years old. You've been in the clique for 2 years. You no longer sleep in borrowed apartments. Now you rent a room with 3 other soldiers. Your body becomes a mandatory canvas. The tattoo artist arrives with his homemade machine. Chinese ink bought in Chinatown. Needles he boils in tap water. He tattoos MS on your forehead for 4 hours without anesthesia. The pain is so intense you see white spots. You cry without sound. You bite an old rag. When it's over, your face changed forever. You can no longer get legal work. You can't walk through certain neighborhoods without getting shot. You can't take off this permanent uniform of marked skin. Your main job is collecting rent. The clique controls 6 blocks. Every business pays weekly protection. The liquor store, the car wash, the taqueria, the beauty salon. You arrive every Friday with another homeboy. You ask for the money politely first. If someone says they don't have it, you come back that night with a bat. You break a window, a table, something visible from outside. The message is clearly understood. The following week, everyone pays religiously. A Salvadoran restaurant owner recognizes you. He knew your mother in San Salvador. He looks at you with profound disappointment that hurts more than any blow. You charge him anyway. They pay you $200 weekly. It seems like a lot when you've never had anything. But expenses are constant. Click fee, food, clothes, weapons, lawyers when you get arrested. You get arrested 3 times that year. Drug possession, aggravated assault, probation violation. You spend 8 months in county jail sharing a cell with 12 people. You sleep on the floor because there aren't enough bunks. The food tastes like wet cardboard. You come out thinner, more paranoid, with 2 new tattoos made with burned wire and pen ink. Level 3, the veteran homeboy. You're 23 years old. You survived 2 shootings. In one, you took a bullet in your left shoulder. In the other, you killed someone for the first time. An 18th Street gang member on a dark corner of MacArthur Park. You remember it perfectly. He was your age, similar tattoos, similar life, but different colors, different geography. That was enough to empty an entire clip into him. You don't feel remorse yet. That comes later, at night, when you can't sleep, when you see his face every time you close your eyes. Now you coordinate new soldiers. You teach the rookies how to move, where to sell, what to say if they're arrested. The golden rule tattooed in your memory: never snitch. Prefer 10 years in prison to 30 seconds of being a rat. You knew 3 snitches in your life. None survived more than 6 months. One showed up dismembered in a Tijuana dumpster. Another was killed inside prison. The third simply disappeared. The family stopped looking after the first year. Hit like if you prefer to live free than die in a 6-foot cell remembering when you chose wrong. Your reputation grows. You're known in 5 different cliques. The shot callers respect you. They call you for special jobs, difficult collections, intimidations that require creativity, controlled violence that sends messages without killing, because every death brings heat, media attention, federal operations. It's better to leave someone alive and terrified than dead and turned into a martyr. You break fingers with a hammer. You burn parked cars. You kidnap younger brothers until the debt is paid. The work is dirty, but necessary to maintain functional criminal order. Level 4. The shot caller. You're 28 years old. You led a clique of 30 homeboys in Pico Union for 3 years without losing territory. You defended 2 blocks against the 18th Street in a war that lasted 6 months and left 17 dead on both sides. You never broke when immigration interrogated you for 48 hours straight. You never talked when they offered you witness protection. You served 5 years in Pelican Bay where the days are the same and violence is constant like breathing. You came out with more tattoos and fewer illusions about life. Now you make decisions that affect complete lives. A homeboy steals drugs from the clique, 2 kilos of crystal that were going for distribution. You decide his punishment. You know the rule says automatic death, but you've known him since he was a rookie. He has a 3-year-old daughter. You propose an alternative: extreme beating and permanent expulsion. The other shot callers accept out of respect for your record. They give him the most brutal beating you've seen. It lasts 5 full minutes. They leave him unconscious bleeding in an alley. He survives. He goes to Texas with his family that same night. You never know if you did the right thing. You earn $1,000 weekly. You control drug distribution in your territory: crystal, heroin, fentanyl, now that it's more profitable. You coordinate with Mexican suppliers who cross merchandise through San Diego. You pay bribes to local cops. $200 every Friday for 2 patrolmen who look the other way when you sell on their rounds. The system works until it doesn't. One day, a new cop arrives. One who doesn't accept money, one with values. He arrests 5 of your soldiers in a week. The numbers drop. The leaders pressure you. They demand results or replacement. Level 5. The leader. You're 35 years old. You coordinate 8 cliques in Southern California. 250 homeboys answer to your direct or indirect orders. You handle criminal budgets of $100,000 monthly. You're the link between the street and the prison. Because MS-13 is governed from inside, the real leaders are in federal prisons serving life sentences. They send orders written in code, messages hidden in apparently innocent letters. You interpret them. You execute them. You distribute them among shot callers. You travel constantly between cities: Los Angeles, San Francisco, Houston, Washington, D.C. Each city has cliques that need coordination, resources, dispute resolution. A shot caller in Surrey, Oakland wants more territory. Another in Houston refuses to send his monthly fee to the prison. You mediate, you negotiate, and when diplomacy fails, you authorize surgical violence. A physical message that everyone understands perfectly. You don't enjoy violence like before. Now it's just bloody bureaucracy. Administrative paperwork with corpses. But the pressure is inhuman. The FBI has your photo in their Los Angeles office. Your name appears in RICO files. Federal agents follow your family. Your mother receives visits where they ask about you with fake smiles. Your 12-year-old son asks you why he can't have normal friends, why they always move houses, why dad never goes to his baseball games. You don't have answers. You can tell him without destroying him. You sleep 4 hours when you're lucky. 3 different phones you never turn off. You change numbers every month. Cars every 6 months. You know that at some point you'll fall. It's not a question of if. It's a question of when. Statistically, you have 3 options: Life in prison, violent death, or betray your gang and live the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, waiting for revenge that always comes eventually. Level 6. The National Leader. You're 42 years old, but you look 60. Stress ate you alive from the inside. Completely gray hair, deep wrinkles, stomach ulcers that bleed when stress increases. You coordinate MS-13 in 3 countries: United States, El Salvador, Honduras. 30,000 active members. A criminal structure that generates $50 million annually through extortion, drugs, human trafficking, contract killings. But you don't live in mansions. You live hidden in safe houses you change every week. You don't have legal bank accounts. Everything is cash stored in suitcases. You move constantly. You can't go to hospitals. When you get sick, a corrupt doctor comes who charges 10 times more for the risk. You can't celebrate birthdays with your family. The last time you saw your daughter was 3 years ago in a photo they sent you by mail. You make decisions that move armies. An order from you can start wars between cliques, can kill dozens, can bribe judges in 3 countries. But each decision isolates you more. You no longer trust anyone completely. Your childhood best friend could be working for the DEA. Your accountant could be stealing millions. Your bodyguard could be receiving offers from rival cartels. Paranoia isn't madness. It's basic survival in your world. Level 7. The Prisoner. You're 48 years old. You were arrested 5 years ago. Federal trial with 23 RICO charges, 3 murders, conspiracy, extortion, international drug trafficking. They gave you life without possibility of parole. You live in ADX Florence, Colorado, the federal maximum security prison, 23 hours daily in a concrete cell, 1 hour of exercise in an outdoor cage, no physical contact with other prisoners, no contact family visits. You talk to your children through thick glass on a bad quality phone, but you still govern from inside. MS-13 doesn't end in prison. It gets stronger there. Your cell is your office. You write orders in code. You send them in apparently innocent letters to your wife. She distributes them to the leaders. They execute. You authorize executions from a 6 by 9 foot cell. You approve budgets. You resolve internal disputes. Your word is still absolute law. But what did you really gain? You have power over thousands. Wealth you can never spend. Respect from criminals on 3 continents. And you'll die in this cell, alone, old, forgotten by everyone except the enemies who will celebrate your death. Your children changed their last names. Your mother died without seeing you again. Your legacy is blood, pain, perpetual destruction. You built a criminal empire from a cell, and that cell will be your tomb. This is the complete truth of MS-13. Each level promised brotherhood, family, eternal, respect. But each rise took away humanity, freedom, future. Those who enter seeking belonging find prison. Those who seek family find betrayal. Those who seek respect find fear. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. The gang doesn't forgive, doesn't forget, never releases. The 13 seconds from the beginning determine the rest of your life until the last cell or the last bullet.